This is the plaintiff, Alfred. He says the defendant hired his company to do some electrical work on his building. And even though he got the juice flowing, he refuses to pay what he owes. He doesn't like having to drag customers into courtrooms, but he needs to be paid. And this seems to be the only way to get the $760 he's owed. This is the defendant, Carl McCall. He says the fire department cut the gas and electric in the building he owns after a car crashed into it. He hired the defendant to reconnect the building, and the guy only restored service to the 3rd floor, leaving him in the dark on the 1st and 2nd. Why should he pay the plaintiff in full when he only did 1/3 of the work? He's accused of leaving a contractor in the dark.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant hired him to do electrical work and he got stiffed, but the defendant says the work was grossly incomplete. It's the case of Go Fly a Kite.
Thank you. First Light Electric, represented here by Alfred. You've asked us to call you only by your first name. You're suing Carl McCall, doing business as S. Hundley Real Estate. Represented here by Carl McCall. You're the owner, correct?
Yes.
All right. You're suing him for $760, $210, a remaining balance on the account, and the rest for legal counsel. Let's talk about this. What happened?
Good afternoon, my honor. Thank you for having me here. Our company, First Light Electric, was hired to perform what's called a reintroduction of service. This is when an electrical company come out and make sure the potential electrical hazards are removed before the electrical company comes in and energizes the building.
Why was it turned off to begin with?
Because it was an accident that occurred on April the 10th. The opening that the car created in the rear of the building, when the insurance company...
that car went through the building.
That's right.
You really meant that. All right.
Yeah, there's pictures of the...
Oh, I'd love to see them. Okay, so you're showing me the wood part where the car went through?
That's where the car came in. That's the...
I thought I was going to see the car inside the building.
Well, I did have those pictures, but...
No, sorry. All right, so what happens? You go and do the electrical work, and what did the electrical work consist of?
The electrical work only consists of the service, not all of the wiring in the building. It's only to make sure that the service is free from potential electrical hazards.
What's the service?
The service is in your house. That's where the disconnecting breakers are.
Okay.
Right? That's for all your branch circuits. We make sure
that's when I'm blow drying my hair and things go dark and I go down and I start yelling, okay, not yet, not yet. Okay, now that.
That's right.
I know
we disconnect all of those circuits from the rest of the building so that only the service can be energized. That means where the meters are, they receive power. Then this building where he's occupied at has 3 different levels. So each level can be energized individually. The picture where you see the vehicle went through this 1st floor, that's where his office is. That cannot be re-energized.
Why?
The PSE&G comes out and say, hey, there's still an unsafe structure here and we don't want to energize the building because if the 1st floor or the 2nd floor goes, it will be a hazard for the gas and the electric, potential hazard for the public and the community.
All right, so he hires you because he needs the electrical back end.
Yes.
And then you physically do what?
I physically go to the service only. That's between the top of the connection, the meter, and the panel. That's it.
Right, and you do what there?
I make sure it's free of faults. I have a meter, I test it.
And did you do that? Did he
Yes.
hire you to do that on all 3 floors?
It's one service that covers all 3 floors, yes.
So you did that, and then what happens? You call the power company?
I call City of Trenton.
And what did they do?
They come out and they inspect it.
And what did they say?
They passed it.
Okay. Do you have that? I need the paperwork. They passed it, but they would not allow power to go to the 1st or 2nd floor because?
They did it under a term and condition of only allowing the 3rd floor to be energized because the 1st and 2nd floor was still had those potential.
Structurally
yes.
unsound.
That is correct.
Let me see. I need proof of that. Is that true? Is that what happened?
No, that's entirely false, Your Honor.
May I see your contract with First Light?
There's no contract. It was like there was an
oh my
invoice.
gosh, we're going to have a disagreement on what the employment was for?
Well, as far as like a contract describing the scope of work, that's an invoice.
So according to you, what's he supposed to do that's different from what he said?
Since the building was completely disconnected by public service, right? His scope of work included doing the repairs in accordance with the city inspector's requirements and reestablishing the electric. My main purpose was obtaining him was to get the first floor turned on where my real estate office was located.
You say that the city wouldn't allow you to reconnect it. Can you show me why?
No, the city.
Can you show me proof of what the city would or wouldn't do? Not tell me about it, not give me your version, but show me.
Here's a certificate of approval for the first floor, that portion of the first floor that was disconnected, right, and the remaining portion open. Here's the certificate of approval.
No, you mean because you hired another guy to do it?
No, because that's what he did.
Why won't you pay the guy? What's the reason you won't pay him?
I paid him.
So how do you protect yourself from a contractor when he does part of the work but doesn't do all of the work and then he skips out?
It depends how well you document your agreement up front and the specificity it needs to be in.
I think that's a really good point, but there's more stuff. What do you say?
Well, I guess this is a...
You know what? No, I'll tell you what this involves. It involves, I don't have any dollars, but that's what it involves.
So,
Money, that's okay, money. You're warm.
yeah, so
Money, she's really super warm. Who's got it?
I say do it yourself.
Money. Huh?
Based on the money that they give, the more money, the better job they're going to do.
Huh?
Pay half first.
There you go. Going inside the courtroom.
He says you owe him $210.
No, if you look at the exhibits, Your Honor, I paid him $400. I paid him $200 with check number 415, and I paid him $150.
So can you show me your canceled checks that you paid him so that maybe there's some confusion about how much you've paid him? You're under the impression that he still owes you $210. The total job was how much?
$760.
And how much do you say he paid you?
He gave me 2 deposits. One deposit was for $400. The follow-up payment was for $150.
All right, he says that there's 3 checks. Okay, let's see the 3 checks. Okay, here is front and back of a check that says $200 to First Light Electric. And here is another one. It looks to be, let me see the number, the check number. Yeah, these are different check numbers. So this is 415, this is 423. The sequence looks for $150 also to you. So that would be above and beyond the 400.
My Honor, he only gave me a deposit for $400.
No, can you look at that and tell me if you
Yes.
cashed those 2 checks
No,
and why
we did not. He wrote this check up, apparently.
No, look at the back of the checks. They were cashed. So take a look at what account they were cashed into, because you're First Light Electric, so it looks like they were deposited in your account because it says for deposit only. So that's the only place it can be deposited. It's not signed by anybody. Is that your bank account?
This is ours, and I do not recognize that.
That's not your bank account?
I can't tell because it's them, but we didn't receive a check.
Okay, no. He's showing me proof that you cashed a check. So is it that you can't read the proof, or is it that is not your bank account?
Which is not ours. No.
Okay, hand that check over to me, please. However, it's written to you. It could only have gone into yours. Let's put this issue to a side a second. It's the $200 check you claim that you didn't get, right? Do you agree that the price of the contract was $760, sir?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay, so then what happens?
So then he calls me after the suit is filed. He calls me and say, "Hey, come get your $210." This is how I know he still owes me $210 because he asked me to come and get it.
Did you call him and tell him that to come and get his $210?
No, Your Honor. I think what happened, Your Honor, was because I had my electric returned on by then. That was in September the 9th, something like that.
Right, but why does a man tell another man, come get your $210 if you'd already paid
I
it?
sent him a certified letter, return receipt, and a copy of the check with the remaining balance to show good faith because I had...
Show me that. Did you get a certified letter from him?
Sure.
I got a letter, and it does state about the $210
That
being
he
the
still
balance.
owes
Yes.
it to you?
I hope he finds it because I didn't bring it. I didn't even...
Submitted herewith is a copy of check number for $160 representing the total remaining balance due for your electrical services. I believe you have not completed your services until all 3 existing circuit breaker boxes covers are placed back on top of the existing open and exposed electrical circuit breaker boxes. They've restored electrical service, so please contact me to complete your work.
Right.
This
He
is
never
fascinating,
covered
though.
them up.
You sent him another check that's numbered 431 on 9/15 for $160. Did
That's
you
right.
cash
That was a mistake. No,
What
I
happened
never
with-
sent
why
him the check. I never sent him a
I
check.
never got it. at
Oh,
all.
show me the return receipt requested. Show me the proof that he got
Is
it.
it on there?
The check, I got the letter, not the check.
Oh, the check wasn't in the
No.
No,
letter?
the check wasn't in
No,
there.
it was an
Why
invite.
wasn't the check in the letter?
Because I was wanting him to finish the work before I gave him the check. That's what the letter says. If he
Submitted
finishes the work,
herewith is a copy of check.
right.
Oh, I see. But why 160 when what he said you still owed him was the 210? You guys
because
are
he
too
made
much.
a mistake with the
All right,
mathematics.
so what ended up happening right now? Are the things back on?
No. You have pictures of the
Are
boxes.
you supposed to put it back on?
No. The energy has been reintroduced to the building under
Yeah,
the...
but why aren't you supposed? I know you don't like him anymore and you don't want to go back there, but my question is why wouldn't you be the guy who puts it back on? Why would he hire someone
He
else?
still has the faults. He still has the hazards there in the location. The city determines
No,
whether or
he
not-
says that it's already been, no, that's already,
No, it's-
that's passed. It's already happened. That he already did whatever structural thing because you say they restored the electric.
They stored electric,
In any
right.
event, here's what we've got. I have to figure out whether or not these checks were cashed, which will be very easy. You're going to provide the court with your bank statements from July. So ask your bank for them because I need to see if they were cashed or weren't. In fact, I want your bank statements for July too, so I can see whether it went into your account. In fact, I would welcome if one of the two of you realized that there's a mistake here and you just saved us the trouble and then said, oh, I just looked at my account, it did go in. Or, no, I don't know how this got messed up, I didn't actually get charged, okay? All right. So that's issue one, which would mean that you're owed $10 because you got shorted $10. Unless you never got that $200, then you're owed $210. Now you claim that he has not put back the what? What is it you say? The covers. And what's entailed in putting back the covers?
It's just put it on.
Just snap them in?
Yes.
Wait, you screw them in? What do you do?
You screw it on.
And now if you had not had this unpleasantness, that's something that you would do, right?
Yes.
I don't want you back there. I'm just wondering.
Yes.
Well, the $10 goes there. All right, so the only thing I need to find, okay, is whether or not that 200 was cashed or not. So I'll give you guys a week to bring me, if I put you at a computer, would you be able to get your July account?
No, I have to go to the bank.
You have to go to the bank.
Right.
Old-fashioned way. All right.
Right. Your Honor, the other thing, like I said,
I don't want to hear you say anything. I want you to show me something that he did wrong
here's
that would
evidence here.
Let's stop with the work was terrible or it was insufficient or it was not what you hired him for. You paid him everything. All I got to determine now is that true? So I'm going to give you each a week to provide me your July and August statements so that I can see whether or not this check was cashed by this gentleman. If it wasn't, okay, someone's in trouble for lying to the judge, and someone's going to have to pay the $200 because I deem him entitled to keep $10 for having to screw those things back in himself. That's my verdict. Good luck, gentlemen.
So, very interesting. This is a case, the outcome is still to be determined. You've got to give the judge your bank statements, okay? You think you can do that? I'm sure you can do that. By the way, tell me about your hat. I don't see those very often.
This is a fez. I'm a Moorish American.
Okay?
Yes.
And
Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, but born in America.
well, congratulations.
Yes.
I don't see those very often, you know?
You see us all the time. We're the misnomered so-called Negroes, blacks, and coloreds, and African Americans. Our proper political distinction is Moors.
Moors.
Yes.
Well, I learned something. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, be interested to see what happens, okay? All right, here comes the defendant, Mr. McCall. I mean, you know, a lot of talk here over a little bit amount of money.
$10, that's all.
You okay?
I'm okay. I'm sure I can prove it. I get my bank statements.
Okay, you get yours, too.
Yeah,
All right.
'cause he got it.
We'll anxiously await the outcome.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much, sir. Okay. Well, Harvey, we'll have to wait to see what happens. What do you think?
Okay, Doug, so the check turns out was not deposited in the plaintiff's account, so he's getting $200.